Hey there, Launch Coders. Zoltan Vardy here, founder and CEO of The Launch Code, and I want to talk to you today about the power of focus and how concentrating on doing just a few things really well will have an outsized impact on your ability to build a successful business. First, I want to talk to you about why I think focus matters and why you should spend a lot of time figuring out what you should concentrate your limited time, resources, and energy on. And then I want to give you a really clear 5-step process that shows you how you can find your focus in whatever you do. Now, one guy who really understood the power of focus was Steve Jobs. The founder and CEO of Apple was ousted from the company, and after 12 years, he returned back in 1997. And one of the first things that Steve Jobs did is that he eliminated 70% of all of the products that Apple was producing. He said, we're going to focus on just 4 things: one personal and one business laptop computer, and one personal and one business desktop computer. Well, he had his hands full because actually in the first year of his return, Apple lost $1 billion and was 90 days from insolvency. 1 year later, they generated a $309 million profit. So if anything, this example shows that if you focus on the right things, you will have a huge impact on your business. So why does focus matter? For 3 reasons. First, focus gives your actions purpose. If you don't have focus, you end up wandering about aimlessly, going from one thing to the next, and you really don't know what it is that you want to achieve. Focus gives you clarity of purpose. It makes making decisions easier. The second reason focus matters is because it helps you say no to the wrong opportunities. Listen, I know from personal experience, sometimes saying no is the absolute hardest thing for an entrepreneur to do. After all, if you're open to doing business, you will inevitably come across all sorts of business opportunities. And whether it's working with a particular client or building a specific strategic partnership, whatever it is, it will make sense. But focus helps you decide which of these opportunities to pursue, the ones that support your overall strategy and your long-term destination, and which ones to avoid, the ones that may bring some sort of short-term benefit, but they take you down the wrong path. The third reason that focus matters is because it literally drives opportunity your way. Now, tremendous number of successful people have already discovered this. It's called the law of attraction. You should look it up. And basically what it says is if you stick to your focus, opportunities will start coming your way that fit your focus. Incredibly, your incoming clients, your partnerships will start matching the parameters that you set. You don't believe me? Try this experiment. The next time you're driving around the city, just pick a type and a color of car, whatever it is. It could be, let's say, a red Volkswagen. And just start looking at the cars on the street. And what you'll discover is that all of a sudden you'll see an incredible number of red Volkswagens coming your direction. The reality is you will, if you pick a focus, you start noticing opportunities that you never thought were available in the first place. Finding your focus is so empowering. I wish every business owner and entrepreneur could experience it firsthand. I've actually developed a really simple 5-step process that you can follow as well to find your focus. And it's something that it helps you identify all the things that you could do and to determine exactly what you must do. And there's a big difference. In this example, I'll actually apply this process to something that I'm sure all of you can appreciate, which is your to-do list, right? Your list of all the things that you want to do. But you can apply the same principles to any number of issues you'll face, whether it's creating a sales or marketing strategy or determining your partnership approach or raising funding, whatever it is. So step 1, collect your options. That means make a list of all of the potential objectives, directions, actions that you have in mind. Make sure it's an exhaustive list. If it means picking up milk at the grocery store or developing a proposal for an important client, whatever it is, make sure you make an entire list of all the things that you could be doing in the following couple of weeks or months. Number 2, categorize your options. So place your options into 3 different buckets: must do, nice to do, and maybe later. Okay? And as you go through each of these items, apply really strict standards to evaluate each one. Okay? Do I have to do this? Am I considering it out of force of habit? Which one of these things could I maybe pass along to somebody else, which is going to have the biggest impact on my desired outcome? If you're successful, of all of those things on your to-do list, about 20% of those items will fall under the must-do bucket. About 60% are going to be in the nice-to-do group. And finally, about 20% will be in the maybe later category. Keep these first two groups. Set aside the maybe later because these are not worth your focus. Step 3. Identify the options that somehow don't fit. Take a second look at your must-do and nice-to-do categories. Most likely, you're going to find items that someone else is either more qualified to do or should be doing because it's actually their job and their responsibility. So either eliminate them from your list or pass these tasks on to someone else. Put a system in place to make sure that you can keep track of all the things you passed along by setting a deadline and following up with a person later. Point 4. Pinpoint the items that deliver the greatest impact with the smallest effort, okay? This is the classic 80-20 rule, right? What are the 20% of the things that you're doing that are gonna have the 80% of the impact on your desired outcome? Ask yourself which of these items, if completed, will enable someone else to take things forward. How many times have you sent somebody an email waiting for a response you can move forward, or sent somebody a request for feedback that you're waiting for? Don't be that guy, all right? Take all those tasks that are required to do so that somebody else can move forward with whatever they need to do, whether that's reviewing a contract or reviewing a CV or preparing a proposal, whatever it is. Every one of these actions, when completed, is going to enable things to move forward more effectively. Step 5, take immediate action for instant impact, okay? Pick the top 3 items left on your must-do list and make a commitment to following through on each one. Even if it's a tiny step, take it immediately. Start with the tasks you have that you can complete quickly so you can gather a bit of momentum. Once you've completed or started every item on your must-do list, then identify the top 3 items in the nice-to-do list and repeat the process. So look, there's 2 things you should keep in mind as you're going through this kind of focusing effort. First, finding your focus, it's a process, all right? It doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take you some time. You will probably need to experiment with a few options before you settle on the right one. You can try various strategies for a short time, assess the results, and ultimately decide that you want to pursue something else. You know, in my personal example, I was in a big job at NBC Universal. I had this global role. I left that and basically decided that I was going to do something more entrepreneurial. And so what I did was I started consulting in the media and entertainment industry. And after a while, I realized that I was just basically doing the same thing I was doing before, except I was actually doing it for less money. Didn't make a lot of sense. Then I started exploring business opportunities in the entrepreneurial space, in sports, even theme parks, entertainment. And eventually I realized that my mix of corporate and entrepreneurial experience is really going to have the biggest value for early stage companies that want to figure out how to build their business and find their focus and scale into much bigger businesses. And since then, I've gotten that clear focus, that clear mission in mind, and I've managed to build my business with incredible pace as a result. Second thing to remember that you're focused on certain opportunities, and you have to make sure you keep that focus even when other different opportunities come. What I mean by that is the true test of your commitment to your focus is when something else that doesn't necessarily fall into that focus comes across your table. You've got to have the power to say no. And that's something that you should be practicing on an ongoing basis, basically saying no to certain things because it doesn't fit your focus. You have to resist the temptation because you're going to end up getting sucked into things that really don't support your overall strategy. So, key takeaway is nothing is more critical to building a successful business than finding your focus and really devoting your time, energy, and resources and doing a few things really well. If you try to do too many things at once, you're going to end up doing none of them well, which is not a good outcome. So, instead, commit to identifying the things that matter and really focusing on those. Keep these tips in mind, and I guarantee you, eventually, your business will blast off.